The alarm screamed red before everything died. Light, sound, hope. When Captain Elias Kim opened his eyes again, his ship was a smoking tomb buried in crimson sand. The air was breathable when it shouldn't be. The figures walking toward him were tall, alien, and unmistakably female. And when their golden-eyed leader said, "We know what you are," he realized something horrifying. He was the first man they'd ever seen. And now, on this world of blue-skinned warriors, he wasn't a guest. He was a prize. If stories of survival, mystery, and raw human grit light you up, stick around. This isn't just another crash landing story. It's what happens when humanity meets extinction, and one man becomes the key to saving or dooming a civilization. Hit like, subscribe, and share this if you love powerful HFY sci-fi stories that ask, what makes us human when the universe stops playing fair? The alarms blazed red, flooding the cockpit with screaming light. Elias Kim slammed every switch he could reach, but the control panel was already dead, burned out, lifeless. The ship was tumbling through atmosphere, every second dragging him closer to an alien hell. The hull shrieked as fire wrapped around it, bright enough to blind him through the visor. Then, impact. The world shattered into heat and silence. For a long moment, there was nothing but the faint hiss of cooling metal and his own ragged breath. He should have been dead. Instead, the air meter blinked green. Breathable, impossible. He dragged himself out through the jagged wreckage. The sky above was a pale red bruise. The ground, crimson sand stretching forever. His bones ached, his suit cracked, but he was alive. Figures appeared on the horizon, tall, elegant, moving with slow, deliberate grace. Their skin shimmered with hues of turquoise and emerald under the strange twin suns. No weapons drawn, not yet. But their eyes, golden, unblinking, too calm. One stepped forward. Her voice was deep, resonant, and perfectly human. "We know what you are. Come with us." Elias froze. How could they possibly know his language? They surrounded him in perfect silence. 6 of them, each taller than any human woman he'd ever seen. Their armor looked primitive, but the faint hum it emitted told another story. The blue crystal spears they carried vibrated with energy hot enough to melt metal. Elias didn't resist when their leader gestured for him to kneel. The message was clear: compliance or death. They marched him through the burning dunes for hours until a vast, living city rose from the horizon. It wasn't built. It grew. Great coral-like towers pulsed faintly with bioluminescent veins. The air itself seemed alive. Inside, Elias was stripped of his cracked suit and laid on a slab that pulsed like flesh. He fought the panic crawling up his throat. Then the leader appeared again, closer now, her golden markings shimmering like liquid fire. "I'm Thea," she said, "genetic coordinator." She studied him like a scientist studies a specimen. "You're the first male to arrive in this cycle." Elias frowned. "Cycle? What happened to the others?" Her expression didn't change. Incompatible. Their codes were useless. He swallowed hard. The word incompatible didn't sound like a diagnosis. It sounded like a death sentence. When Elias woke again, his clothes were gone, replaced by a thin, shimmering robe that felt alive against his skin. The room pulsed faintly, as if it were breathing with him. Thea entered, flanked by another alien, this one with crimson skin. Without warning, the red one drew something that looked like a spine from a container and pierced his arm. His blood flowed into a translucent pod that began to glow with its own rhythm. Thea's eyes widened. "Pure, human blood," she whispered almost reverently. "Our species lost males 1,000 rotations ago. We will die in 1 generation, but you're compatible." Elias felt a chill. Compatible for what? She showed him a hologram of their DNA and his, threads intertwining in impossible harmony. You carry the K-47 marker, 1 in a million among your kind. It adapts. They locked him in a cell made of translucent membranes that hardened when he touched them. He wasn't alone. A man sat in the corner, thin, ghostly, defeated. "Silas," he rasped. "Geologist, 3 months here. Don't trust them." "What happened to the others?" Elias asked. Silas's eyes were hollow. They were compatible too, until they weren't. The next morning, Thea returned, but this time her calm facade had cracked. She looked afraid. Behind her, the wall dissolved into transparency, revealing the horizon. Massive, black shapes, towering, slow-moving, leaving glass trails where they stepped, marched across the desert. "The hunters," she whispered. "They consume everything organic. We can't stop them." Elias stared at the monstrosities, their forms glinting like molten obsidian. "Then let me help. My ship has tech, amplifiers, transmitters. Maybe something can fight them." She hesitated. "Help us survive, and when your people come, we share the planet. No more experiments. No more pain." They set out at dawn, Elias, Thea, and Silas. The sandstorm hit like a wall, but Thea raised her hand, summoning a faint sphere of light that deflected the worst of it. They reached the wreckage of Elias's ship, half buried, twisted, but salvageable. Silas dug through debris, shouting triumphantly when he found 3 intact amplifiers. But the hunters were closer now, just 9 miles away. The ground vibrated with their march. "There's no time," Silas yelled. Thea turned to Elias. "We can make you like us, partially, hybridize you. You'll survive the heat, the impact." Elias met her gaze, then looked toward the horizon. "Do it." The pain was beyond words, fire rewriting his very being. Every nerve screamed as alien enzymes fused with his blood. When it ended, Elias stood taller, skin tinted blue, his senses flooded with strange clarity. The world hummed with life. "It worked," Thea whispered. "You're the bridge." There was no time to celebrate. The hunters had arrived, mountains of black glass, each step turning sand to obsidian. Elias sprinted through the heat, planting amplifiers in a 1-mile ring around the city. He triggered the first. A pulse of sonic energy hit the nearest hunter, fracturing its surface like shattered glass. 1 down, dozens left. He ran, activating each amplifier. But the monsters multiplied, splitting into smaller, faster forms. "The frequency's wrong," Silas shouted over comms. "They're adapting." Elias looked at his hands, glowing veins of hybrid power. "Then I'll change it myself." He ran for his ship, now barely holding together. "If I overload the quantum core," he said, "it'll release enough energy to destabilize them all." Silas's voice cracked. "You'll die." "Maybe," Elias answered softly, "but humanity survives." He pressed the final sequence. Light consumed the desert. When the smoke cleared, Thea wept, because where the hunters once stood, the glass had turned to soil. If that story hit you right in the soul, drop A in the comments. Don't just like the story, ignite it. Hit subscribe, turn that bell on, and join the HFY Legion, because next time, humanity won't just survive the impossible. We'll rewrite it.